So in the case of framing around the stairway, I think we're actually going to have decided to do the beams here in 3D. So I need to have a beam going across each direction. Let's look at our second floor. Okay, I'm going to pick on here and hide these categories. So I've decided that I do want to frame a beam across here and a beam across here, and then we'll have to put some posts in the wall. Okay, so let's throw a beam in there, and if we don't get it at the right height, it's not a big deal. So on the second floor, let's go to our structure tab. Let's draw a beam, and let's pick a beam. We want a glulam 15 by 5.12 by 13 and a half. That looks good. Click. And now we're going to say, no, we're not going to place it at level 3. We're going to place it right at level 2. And then I'm going to offset it a little bit later. But for the time being, I'm just going to place it from here to here. And it's going to tell me that I can't see it. That's perfectly fine. And then I'm going to do another one right here. I'm just going to eyeball it, get it close to here. Again, I'm going to get a warning. Escape, escape. So I can pick on this section, which is here for design purposes. Double click. I'm going to go into that view. I'm going to make sure I set my detail level to be fine. And there's the beam I just drew. Now, why did it go in at the second floor? 03. It says it is on the second floor with no offset, and yet it's on the main floor. Okay, that's funny. Let's go to our second floor. Let's do a section. Let's look at this section over here. Okay, there's our beam. Now this beam is at top of main work plane. Okay, so that shouldn't be on top of main. It should be, let's say, pick new work plane. And then pick a plane, hit OK, and then pick up here. Pick. That's not what I want. Cancel. Pick this beam. Edit work plane, not pick new host. Pick a plane, hit OK. Pick. There it goes. Now I'm gonna undo that back because I want to see what happened. Okay, let's get rid of this one. And let's go to my other section on the main floor. Make sure both of those are gone. And they're gone. Okay, let's try this again here. Second floor. Beam. You see there's my problem there. It should be top of second floor. Pick my beam type and let's try this again. It's still going to give me the warning. Click, which is fine, and click somewhere over there. We're going to clean that up. Escape, escape. So now back to here. Click, click. Now it's at the right level. Okay. And I need to change my detail level to be fine again. So I need this to be minus 3/4 of an inch. So I'm going to pick on here, minus 0.75 of an inch, copy it to the clipboard with the Control C, pick on here, Control V, drops that down. Okay, now I want to align. I'm going to use my align. Have I not added that to my quick access toolbar? Modify, align to here, this guy. Okay, I might even bring it back. Let's take this, nudge it over. Let's go down to our detailing here and let's add in my 1/14, spacebar to rotate in there, escape, escape, and now do my, I'm going to say add to quick access toolbar. There's my align to here, this guy. Okay, I can shim that space or whatever I want. So there's my beam in that direction. Okay, let's go back to my second floor and let's look at this section. There it is. Same thing. Click on here. Control V pastes that. Control V, paste it. Okay, go get my 1/14. This is kind of the fun stuff, the detailing, because you just kind of get in and add the detail components, align. Although this beam right here is not a detail component. Again, TL for thin lines, TL. Okay, that's what's making those lines nice and thin. So that's not too bad. So we'll add in the detailing and the cross-sectioning of that. That's just the bulkhead below. I can get rid of this dimension. So that's the bulkhead beyond there, and there's my ceiling. And that's not too bad. So now what about where those two beams kind of intersect? How do I clean up to make sure they're doing okay? So let's go back to our second floor. And what I'm going to do here is drop my cut plane down inside the floor system. I'm going to go into here, view range. I'm going to drop my cut plane to be -1 foot. Hit apply. Oh, that can't be lower than this, and this can't be lower than this. So all three of those have to go down. Click out, hit OK. Now I'm in the middle of the floor. Okay, this guy is talking to that beam. This one's talking to that wall. And this guy is talking to this guy. So it naturally snapped to it. Okay, so now I'm going to, it also tagged it automatically, because when you go into structure, if you say beam, it says tag on placement. If you take that off, it won't actually go in and tag that for you. So I can take those tags off or leave them on. And now I'm going to take my cut plane and move it back up to be my 4 feet. So this is back to 4, this is back to 0, and this is back to 0. We could also go in and right click and say duplicate the view and make a new view and leave it that way, and that way it's easier instead of operating it both from the same view. So now in my section over here, I now have my beam in there, so we can continue on our detailing. So now what about columns? Let's have a quick look before we go back. Main floor. Okay, so main floor, we need to have a post, and I'm wondering if that comes in above a window or something like that. What we need is a reference plane. Okay, let's go back to that second floor. Let's drop that clip plane, unfortunately, back to be -1 so we can see it. Actually, no, here's a better way. Let's double click on here. Let's draw the reference plane in here. Home, reference plane. Snap to the center of that. Go up, escape, escape. Pick on here, grab that reference plane, pull it down. Good. Now, go to your other section. Over here, go to this section, click, click, zoom in. Okay, and that way I'll know where the wall, I'll know where that, where to put the column in. Reference plane, pick on here. If you want it to extend to the roof plan, then you need to stretch it up so it intersects the roof plan. Hover over, click, tab if you have to. You don't have to use your shift key because you can only stretch them straight. Okay, now when I go to my main floor, guess what? There we go. So I can take this column and say copy from here to here. Oh, that's no good. Let's align this. Okay. Now I have a beam running under there anyway, picking up the joist. So then that's just going to be a point load. I don't know. Do I need a post under there or not? Maybe I do. Over here we're going to have are we in the middle of a window? We are in the middle of a window, so we're going to have to put a header in there and transfer that over to a couple of posts. So we could end up, taking this post and say create similar, and inevitably we'll end up with a post on each side of these windows here. Okay, and that's on a load-bearing wall. And we could put a detail line in here saying header over window, etc., because that's carrying not really a lot of load, because the joists are spanning this way, and there's your transfer point there, and that's being distributed across from there to there and then down these windows. So because the joist span is going this way instead of this way, there's not a whole lot of load going in there. But we've got those columns, and now we have our beams in there. So let's just go back to our good old 3D view. And let's try this. Let's go like this, grab everything, filter, take it all off, and say structural framing only. Structural columns, structural foundation, structural framing. Boom. And then we can go to here and say temporarily isolate these categories. Boom. Click out. There you go. So at this point, other than the load-bearing walls on the outside, this is our structural framing. Looks pretty good. And we can go back here and say reset and back to normal. So that's our stairway framed in.